Hey, welcome, buddy, to an early edition Caffeine Corner. We were going to do this about 11 like we usually do, maybe 10 on a good morning, but we were kind of just chilling this morning going, God, we're bored out of our freaking minds. Let's just do it at 8. That way the people in the UK can't complain like they always do. Eve, why didn't you do anything for us Europeans? Well, because I'm American. But no, I love your UK people. So we decided to do a little earlier so UK people can actually watch this at a decent hour. Is that cool?
Hello.
Are we magnanimous, Cheshire?
I mean, we try to include everybody. At some point, we're definitely going to have to do an EU blend for rum and coke night.
Yes, that's true. So we are trying to be inclusive. We're very inclusive in our diversity here. Just make sure they can hear us properly, hear me, hear Cheshire. Again, you know how it is with the audio. So if you can hear us, great. We like to know if there's any echo.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Oh yeah, and by the way, yes, and the one German that watches us, the German with the love of knives, so Geo Streber. I think I pronounced it right for the first time. Streber.
For the first time in a long time.
What's in a name? A rose by any other name?
Don't jinx it. The sound is actually working properly.
Yes.
Wow.
Only like our 7th show. Fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah, one thing about Europeans, appeasement will fail. This is true. What, Cheshire?
Now we're going to have to start adding extra things onto the show, like having live tweets on the corner or something, so it just starts getting...
Yeah.
Now that we've got sound down.
We pissed off the only Dutch guy, by the way.
Oh, shit. Already ruined. Show's over.
All right. Thanks for joining
Cancelled.
us, guys. We're just going to be doing a night show from now on. Anyways, we're going to dive into it. And once again, I'm going to have a little disclaimer and trigger warning. If you're not interested in the content as far as what we're talking about for the events that have been going on in the community, I don't want to call it drama because I don't think it is drama because I think there's some valid points to be made in a lot of this stuff. By all means, I understand. Watch something else. Don't message me later saying this channel's turned into a drama channel. It's not. We have a lot of things lined up for science and philosophy. Got Ozzy coming back on. Got Nick coming back on. We got a whole bunch.
Landon was on the other night.
Yeah. This is just one thing we do every Monday to get all out of the way. Everybody's happy and talk about the different things that are going on in the community.
Plus, it helps address a lot of the questions that tend to crop up in chat. So hopefully we can address a lot of those questions so they don't detract from those other topics.
I'll read a little thing that Anti-Ordinary wrote to kind of set the mood. She says, this show is fast becoming my favorite show in the whole community. She doesn't watch very many, obviously. Maybe it's my predisposition for, quote, tea, which is, I believe, truth, but it's the only show of yours I watch religiously, Steve. Okay, thank you, I guess. It's the only one you watch. It's really good so far. I can't wait to see what y'all spill this time. Oh, this is going to be a fun show. I think this is going to be great.
I have a story to start off with. It's a quick story, so bear with me. I like it for the very first top comment, and it's from a subreddit called Am I the Asshole? You can guess where this is going to go. So, am I the asshole for telling my daughter, who's a 26 female, that I, a 55-year-old man, will not walk down the aisle with her stepdad, a 50-year-old man? My wife and I divorced when my daughter was 6 years old, and my wife had custody of my daughter for the most part because I was too busy working a 50-hour week. She quickly moved on to be with another man 7 years younger than her. I knew from many stories I've heard that my daughter would probably end up being closer to him than to me, since not only was our time together very limited, but he was a stay-at-home dad, which means that they had plenty of time to bond together, which makes me feel sick to this day. This may sound immature, but I made her promise to never call her stepdad dad, that I was her only father and not to betray me. But I have no control over what she or they do in their home. Fast forward to now, my prediction came true, my prediction came through, and she's obviously closer to her stepdad than me. She has gotten engaged about a year ago, and now that the wedding is approaching near, it is about a month or so, she's now out of the blue told me that she wants both me and her stepdad to walk her down the aisle after promising me I would be the one to do it. Even though I know they are very close, I don't believe he has any right to walk my blood daughter down the aisle. I am her only father. It isn't fair that he got to be with my daughter more than me, her biological dad. Now he wants to take this moment away from me too. I got a bit angry and I told her I will absolutely not share the honor that is meant for me, the actual father of the bride, with some guy I barely know. She told me he's done a lot for her growing up and that I'm being petty over something that happened years ago. I told her I wasn't going to argue about it, and if she wanted her stepdad to walk her, she can, but I won't be there to see it. I was told by a friend of mine that blah, blah, blah uses the site, so I asked here. What do you guys think?
Well, okay. I guess let me kind of address that because I might be in the situation one because I'm in a very very similar situation.
Same, actually.
Yeah, because my daughter lives with her mom and her stepfather because they were married years ago. Um, he's not a bad guy. I have nothing against the guy, but if my daughter gets married, that's her day. She could do whatever the hell she wants. I'm not going to. I wouldn't be a good father if I told her you have to do this or have to do that on her own wedding day. She makes her own decisions. I would be fine walking her down the aisle with him. It wouldn't bother me in the least. But it's still ultimately her decision what she wants. I was thinking the same thing. I didn't want any other guy to be called dad or daddy because she was always going to be my little cute girl. But she's not anymore. She's 14. She's getting to be an actual teenager with her own beliefs, own thoughts, own personality, and how she uses the term dad doesn't faze me any longer. She calls him dad. She calls me dad. It doesn't bother me. It did for a while, obviously, but I got over that, and that's something that I had to get over. But you eventually do, and now everything's fine. So I would tell that guy, yeah, you're being an asshole.
There's a little bit of language here that's really, really disconcerting and kind of creepy. Like telling a kid that you can't do this, and if you do, you're betraying me.
Yeah, that's guilt.
Bro,
that's
guilt fucked up. That's guilt. And that's too. That was when she was a child. This wasn't now that she's an adult. She was a kid. She's 26 now, and this was how long ago when she was young? And like that's dude, don't say that kind of stuff to your kids. That's super manipulative and super fucked up. The first comment that I think was probably my favorite, it's the one that's right at the top. It says, "You're the asshole. It's her day, and you're already ruining shit."
Which sums it up. I mean, end the thread there,
Yep.
What else needs to be said?
I don't. Yeah, I don't have a kid, but I am the child of divorced parents. So this is something that I had to kind of deal with. I haven't gotten married. Maybe I will.
Nobody wants you, I guess.
Nobody wants to marry me. It's like I don't really blame them. They're not wrong.
There's reasons for this.
They have valid reasons for not wanting to marry me. However, I am now in a situation where my mother is remarried twice, and my dad's remarried. So I've got 3. The answer is obviously I'm gonna get walked down the aisle by an Elvis impersonator.
There you go. That's the way to do it. Yeah, I mean, my sister never married. I never married. I could have been 3 times, 4 times over by now. Matter of fact, a couple of the people that I could have been married to, I still talk to this day, and great friends. It just wasn't meant to be. One of them married a friend of mine. Actually, 2 of them married friends, but it's okay. I mean, as long as I still get along with them, and as long as I still respect them and they still respect me, I don't feel like any loss because I noticed that, in over 10, 20 years, some of them have changed dramatically. I'm thinking, yeah, she's your problem now. So,
right. Yeah. In some situations, it absolutely is. And it's usually best is the more amicable you can be when you start extending families.
Yeah.
The better it is for everybody. And sometimes having more than one parent is better. And sometimes having more than 3 parents is the worst.
You're getting some marriage proposals in the live chat, by the way.
Aw. Aww. Aww.
I haven't got one, so screw you, but that's okay.
I don't. Maybe I'll never get married. Who knows? It doesn't matter. That's not important.
That's not the fun part. The fun part is consummating it, then getting annulled the next day.
There you go. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. There you go. Sai.
Oh my god. I might actually take you up on that offer if that's okay. That would be amazing.
Saigar could walk me down the aisle.
Oh. All right. Well, that was just awesome. That was just a little fun to get the ball rolling. Like that seems pretty obvious. Like the guy is being an asshole. Not that I can't sympathize with his position, but it's been how many? Your daughter is an adult now. You're being petulant.
Now people want to marry me, but it's only out of pity. It doesn't count, guys. It doesn't count. Okay. I mean, come on. I mean, really. I appreciate the thoughts, though.
Steve, we're gonna have like one of the big meetup things, like Faithless Forum, or so. It probably won't be at Faithless Forum, but we'll probably do a big meetup of our own one day, and Steve's gonna get like all the pity sex.
That's fine. I'm totally cool with this. I've never had a problem with pity sex. It's like, God damn it. Okay, fine. I'll take one from the team. When I got a minute out of 7 minutes in heaven back when I was like, growing up, that was I was good to go, right? I was like, hey, she spent a whole 60 seconds with me.
All right, so what are we
This is why
starting
people love
with?
this show. Steve just dissing on himself. Okay. So I think what we're going to do is, like usual, I enumerate the things we want to discuss, but for some reason we're going to go backwards again. I think, I don't know why.
That's just going to be the way it goes every time.
Yeah, because the first thing that we talk about, the main thing we want to talk about is the longest, so I figured we'll get back to that eventually. So this kind of move down the line here. So first thing we want to talk about is AT2 Productions, Lookapig, and Fight the Flat Earth.
Oh Lord, I spent
go ahead.
I spent probably
explain this.
I spent probably 2 days trying to research and figure out everything that happened, because it seems like a lot of this started from before I got here. So it looks like
maybe a little bit.
It seems like some of the grudge took place from before I was introduced to that group of people, at least. Also, Fight is in the chat, so hello, Fight.
Hi.
We're gonna try not to shit on you too bad.
Well, yeah, but we're going to anyways, though. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. So it seems like there was, at best, some kind of miscommunication where there was a crowdfunding that took place to get Lookapig a laptop. That seems to be the place where all of this got started. And then looked like Pig took the laptop and ditched.
Well, no, he was Fight the Flat Earth's producer, but
yes,
he wasn't doing what they wanted.
Yeah, he wasn't doing what he needed to do, and they crowdfunded him this laptop, and then he just kind of disappeared. Now there's contradicting where Pig says he had told Fight that he was going through some mental depression and anxiety and issues. Fight says he didn't get that message, and then the only person who seems to have known for definitively that agrees was, I believe, AT2. So please correct me if I'm wrong on any of this.
I mean,
this is about what I've been able to figure.
Yeah, he was. Well, he was Fight the Flat Earth's producer. He got rid of him. He went to be AT2's Productions producer. But the big thing was that he was running a charity for Off the Hook.
Yes.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of discrepancy there, which when you really look into it, it was nothing of any consequence. It was well explained. I think that Craig did a beautiful job explaining it multiple times. I think he has nothing to defend. But long story short, AT2 Productions and Lookapig and him had a summit on Saturday. I guess it's all resolved now.
Oh, good.
And so, good for you. Kudos. The only thing I'm going to say on it is that I think AT2 Production, I have nothing against the guy at all. I've always got along with Jared. I told him and I told other people, you're spending way too much political capital here for such little gains. There was nothing to be called out here. I mean, it was just like, if you're going to waste so much time in NGS just alienating people on such minutia, it better be something that turns into something big. And it wasn't. It was just still petty minutia that was easily resolvable.
Well, that's what they had, because I had seen the initial video when it came out, and it was confusing to me. So they were essentially trying to call out Fight for his story about his injury and his veteran stuff being inconsistent. Now,
but it wasn't.
All that could have been was just clarification in an actual perhaps a summit meeting.
Hey! Which by the way, I think Craig tried to do numerous times. I think Unirock tried to do numerous times. Go figure, right?
So like that, it seems like a lot of this could have been resolved, but it seems to me, now I'm just speculating a little bit at this point, that Pig had a little bit of a grudge going on from way back, so he was kind of trying to poke holes, and that kind of came to a head for these videos. Now, as of Sunday at noon, all of the videos about this, so the ones that were on Jared's channel, so AT2, and the ones that were on Pig's channel are gone. Like, they're not up anymore. Yeah, so they've been taken down. So hopefully that means that things have been resolved and it's been dealt with. That'd be fantastic. I'm happy for everybody if you guys got that sorted out. Are we going to get an update? Maybe.
Yes, I did watch Unirock's video on it. I think Unirock kind of conflated a couple of different things.
I agree. He had some interesting
he had some mistakes, though, he made. Especially, there's two Tim Osmonds, and I think he conflated the two.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So, I mean, the Tim Osmond that I have nothing to do with is the Tim Osmond that's part of a troll group that has gone around. He's infamous. He's infamous for sniping and porn bombing. I mean, people know that. But that's not the one that other people were referring to. So I think he conflated that.
Gotcha.
And so I'm not really caring too much about the whole the Lookapig situation. I'm gonna turn up my mic.
Yeah, Yeah, that's the thing is that he was saying that Lookapig is part of like this almost conspiracy-esque troll group, which I mean,
Well,
Pig,
that's true though. I mean, but Pig admits that he's a
Pig is
professional
a
troll. Right.
Then we all know this. We all agree with it. That's not necessarily a bad thing, depending on how you handle him, right? So like, as long as you are aware of this going in and you deal with it appropriately, then there's no issue. The problem is when you get somebody who's dangerous and is going to be causing you problems and you've given them too much power.
Right. And so that's kind of resolved. So good on you guys for getting all that taken care of. Yay. Again, I think I don't want to see AT2 Productions lose any more capital on this because, again, I think he's a great guy. I think he does things for his veterans show that he does. And so, props to you guys. All right, moving on. So here's bigger news. We're actually going to make it into a national holiday. Anti-Ordinary got something right. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding about making it a holiday. I'm not kidding about she got something right. She really did, yeah. But no, props to Anti-Ordinary. She stuck her guns out. And what happened was, I guess a long time ago, and I remember this, Anti-Ordinary had called Staggerson Jagz out on whether the moon rotated or not. I guess he was trying to argue that the moon doesn't rotate. She correctly argued that the moon does rotate. It's called spin, which is rotation on a centralized axis with respect to internal axis. And she was absolutely right. I think she said was wrong. I mean, I would correct her if I think that she said something wrong, right? She didn't.
Yeah, I believe there was like a little bit more nuance to the actual math behind it, and
yeah, I explained the math, but they didn't care.
Right, but she wasn't incorrect.
No. The nuance is this. Any kind of rotation is basically a transformation of linear equations where you have x, y, and z coordinate systems. So if you've ever taken matrix theory allows you to solve for these types of linear equations just by knowing the coefficients of the variables in the equations. So you can put them in a matrix and you can actually solve for x, y, and z by using matrix theory. It's really cool how matrix theory works, and we're going to be doing a show on it one day. I promise you. But
who says we don't talk about science on this episode?
Yeah, math, but yeah.
Math.
It's math science. They're related. But anyways.
I'll fight you.
But she was right on it. She was like, dude, the moon rotates. He's like, the moon doesn't rotate, it spins. It's like, no, it both. It spins and rotates. They're synonymous with respect to the moon. And what made this funny was I was explaining this to Staggerson very, very calmly. And
there wasn't even anything rooting for us. It's not like you were like, listen, idiot.
Yeah, I didn't. No pejorative, nothing. I was just like, here's how it actually, from my understanding of it, how I use these terms. I landed on it. And he even said, well, yeah, you know what? I use those terms the exact same way. Like, okay, great. Then you agree with me. And then I get blocked. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, he seems to be having a little bit of a time, which it's kind of strange because it seems like he's making a large video by making like little 2-minute snippets.
Yeah, I watched one of them.
I've watched, I think, all of them so far, and they're like little 2-minute snippets of him being upset, which is kind of odd and is coming across strangely because if it was one 5-minute video where he just went in, it would have been not weird and would have been like, yeah, all right. But because he's just doing 2-minute snippets, I think it's being construed as him being obsessive.
Well, it is a little obsessive.
It wouldn't be if it was all one video, though.
Sure, I agree with that. But now he's focused on Sarah Michelle for some strange reason. Yeah,
he's switching, and it's because Sarah's gotten herself involved in the situation, which is fine. I'm not saying she shouldn't, but I'm saying that we might be jumping the gun a little bit in saying that it's obsessive, just because
it looks obsessive.
It does come across that way, but that might be just a formatting issue, not an actual he's having a problem.
Okay, but here's the thing. I don't know Staggerson very well. I mean, we've crossed paths over the years, but I'd never really talked to him. But what I don't understand is, why did he personally go after Anti-Ordinary when, if he had an issue what she was saying about the science, he could have addressed that. What he said was kind of strange to me, but he addressed one thing on it, and then it was all just basically him insulting her about her looks, her intelligence. It was all personal bullshit. And I was like, this is petty. This is just not how you go after somebody if you think their argument's wrong.
Yeah. Well, I have actually reached out to him to potentially set up a talk about what his actual position and what his thoughts and theories about what the way the moon rotates is, and I asked him for like a brief summary, and he said the moon goes around the Earth like a tether ball,
which is rotation or called orbit or revolving.
Sure. So that's what he clarified his position as to me. So there could be conversation there set up in the future for something that is that is a more scientific based conversation.
He agreed with what I said. If you revolving around something that has an external point, which is called a barycenter, then that would be called revolution or orbit. If it's internalized in rotation, like the Earth's spinning on its axis, that's spin. By the way, this is for classical, not quantum, so totally different thing quantum. But I want to clarify that, because somebody's going to say, well, that doesn't hold true in quantum mechanics. Yes, I understand that. But as far as angular momentum in classical, but so spin is just basically rotation around a centralized axis as internal. Rotation that's external would be revolution, but it's still a type of rotation. And he agreed on that. Now maybe Demi didn't make, who's anti-ordinary, not doxing her people. If Demi didn't distinguish it, then okay, that's fine. But that's no problem to her. She has no reason to distinguish it. She was saying that with respect to the moon, that rotation and spin are synonymous, and she's absolutely right on that. I'm sorry, she's absolutely right, and I don't know why he's arguing otherwise, or it seemed like he was arguing.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that there is just a miscommunication going on. Now, obviously, it's gone further than that by going into insults instead of trying to clarify and understand each other, and now it's starting to jump people. Where now it's starting to. Steve
Why
got
did I get blocked though? You guys didn't get blocked. You did it. Sarah did it. Ao did it. I'm the only one that got blocked, and I was just explaining physics. I don't understand how that works. It wasn't even personal. You guys are insulting him. He's insulting you, and I'm like, okay, dude. Let me just. I even said this is not my fight. I'm just going to explain to you the physics. I'm the one that got blocked. I don't get it.
Apparently, anti-ordinary is also
she's blocked now. Yeah. And yeah, there are some Lorentz transformations. Same principle with the Lorentz transformation or even Galilean transformations. A transform is something where you have, like with a non-inertial frame of reference, where you have your set of XYZ coordinates and you're just transforming it. And it sounds mathematical and people go, well, that's a bunch of wordy stuff. It's not that complicated conceptually. Doing it is hard, don't get me wrong, really, really hard. But conceptually, it's not. You're just having a spatial transformation. So if I say I'm going to rotate something on the x-axis, right? So here's my x-axis. I'm just rotating it. That's all. So I'm transforming it on the y. I'm transforming it on the z. That's it. These are all just transformations. With respect to x, y, and z, how you rotating something for the most part, in a nutshell.
And you guys vote that we should get Steve like one of those old school overhead projectors.
I have a tablet. No, somebody was buy a tablet, and I've been practicing trying to get it to work with the computer, and eventually I will. But somebody had bought me a little tablet.
You could totally get it so you're writing on the green screen behind you.
Yeah, I have the tablet here somewhere. I'll get it to work with this eventually. I haven't had time to practice it with that much, but whoever brought me that, I will be using. Thank you.
We got a super chat from Roland Lafleur, $20. You're the hardest worker at 5% I have ever seen.
I try. I mean, like I said, I gotta admit, it's been going to be really light this month. I'm not producing as much as I was in the past.
Oh God, speak for yourself. I am all over the place.
You're everywhere. Well, I am too, but not on like tomorrow. I'm going to be on the Shills, right?
Oh yeah.
And then we're going to be on the Canadian Atheist show.
Yes, we are going to be on that. Is that on Wednesday?
I think so. So I mean, I'm going to be about, but I'm going to be doing a lot of things on other people's channels rather than my own. So kind of forgive me, but there's reasons for this. But give us a few more weeks. But we're going to be still doing this. We're still doing Ask a Philosopher. We're still doing a game every so often. I'm going to have another. It's quiz time night. That was fun.
My computer's actually running properly now, so I can actually play Portal 2. So we can set that up.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Do you want to play you want to play quiz time though too?
Oh God.
I suck at that game.
No. I'm gonna embarrass myself.
But by the way, if you want to learn orbital mechanics, I really do tell you that Kerbal Space Program is legit on getting concepts down. Totally legit. So.
I believe it.
Hey, got Curry Mack in the live chat too. So,
I want to play Oxygen Not Included so bad, but I have no money. So I'm not gonna.
You want to play what?
A game called Oxygen Not Included.
What's that?
It's a resource management game. So you get these people called duplicates, and they have specific attributes, and those attributes are either beneficial or detrimental in one way or the other. And you get placed on a planet, and you're inside of it, and there's resources around you, and you have to dig it out, and you have to like plan out like they need sleep, and you can set them to do certain tasks, and you can
Sims
do research,
type game.
you get hydraulics, and yeah, it's all resource management, and you have to manage temperature, water, resources, food, advancement, stress levels.
Sounds like Vault. Sounds like what's that game with the Vault? Is it Vault 57?
Oh, you're talking about the Fallout Shelter.
Fallout Shelter. Yeah, I played that.
It's like a way more complicated version of that. Yes.
Oh, it looks like that too. I just looked at
it does. Oh, it's so good. I've seen people play it, and
that looks cool. I like those types of games.
So bad. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Well, hang on. It's not on Steam though. Oh, is it on Steam? Oh, it is on Steam.
So.
All right. So I'll buy that for you for it's only $25.
No, you don't need to do that.
No, I'm gonna gift it to you later.
Oh.
So that's super
chat.
What,
just for that,
I'll to you.
Thank you. Just for that, I'll stream it.
There you go. How about that? I'll gift it to you and you stream it on this channel.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'll stream it here.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Godless Scummer says
this is how it's supposed to work. See, synergy. You know how greedy I am. I'm a greedy mofo.
Yeah, he sent me a $20 game so I can stream it on his channel, boost his own views. He's a thinker. Godless Scummer for £2. Hopefully it's £2. The new smug is 95% improvement on the original. Thank you very much. I worked hard to make
I like that too, yeah.
To guarantee that smug would be better than the original.
And yeah, by the way, GeoStrobber gave me Portal, by the way. And he bugged me forever to play Portal 2. I finally did. I finally made it through. It was great. Portal 1, Portal 2, love those games. So thank you very much for GeoStrobber for that.
Crocodux here.
Hello. How did he sneak in? But yeah, so I mean, I have played these games. I finished Portal 1, I finished Portal 2. I'm still working on Divinity 2, which I really like, and Sleeping Dogs. But then I'm waiting for Cyberpunk. I have that, and Borderlands 2 that I'm eventually going to play. And I think that I might actually play Borderlands 2 with Anti-Ordinary, and after that, maybe with Jeff Holiday.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, no, that'll be a good time. So before we move on to the next thing, we should remind people, yes, there is a smug. There is a new smug that you can get that actually goes to Steve. The money actually goes to Steve.
Well, we
50% of it anyway.
Yeah, we're splitting it. And by the way, she's going to get paid monthly out of this, by the way. So no more, oh, well, let's wait to the end of the year crap. No, she's going to get her freaking money. Yeah, how much time left on that? How much time left in that campaign, by the way? I got to get one too. I know it's running out of time.
Let me check. 1 second.
I know it ends today, but in like a few hours.
Logging in. I'm logging in. No, that's the wrong one.
You got my face on a mug.
You've got my face on a mug. We'll probably do one for me as soon as I get my art stuff running again, so that you can have my face or Steve's face on a mug.
When I get more I will be doing heavy, well, not heavy, but I'll do more merchandise next month. But we're gonna do some other stuff that I'm not gonna say what, but I'm gonna do some merchandise. But everything on my personal merchandise page is straight up going to be split with Cheshire. So I'm going to put my own product on there. She's going to put some stuff on there. And no matter what, though, everything on that site is going to be 50-50.
That was the wrong link. Don't click that.
That's your porn link.
Yeah, that's my porn link. Don't go there.
Yeah, you can't put porn links in.
That's my Pornhub account.
Yeah, oops.
There you go. If you guys want to go get a smug, it comes in multiple colors. You can get it in gray, blue, or red, or white, standard.
We got 11 hours left to go. Okay, so I can pick that up later on today. But like I said, I'll do that, and I'll get you the button auction not included. Least I can do for you. So awesome. All right. So what else we got going on here? Let's move on.
Geo
Streeber. I honestly prefer to have Cheshire Vic's jugs on my face. Does that count? Well, we could probably. You want to put some jugs on a mug or something? I don't know. We can. I can
put some jugs on a mug.
Whatever happened?
I can absolutely do that.
Whatever happened to the highest bidder shit? By the way, I actually had somebody like defriend me on Facebook who I respect an awful lot, so I'm not going to say their name,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not going to get into the drama because that would be drama. But somebody actually,
we don't want to talk about the drama on the.
well, I'm not going to say the person's name because it would be just drama. But
Oops!
somebody,
I dropped this tea everywhere. What happened?
but somebody actually defriended me because they didn't like the fact that Cheshire was going to have different levels to what she's going to expose herself as for charity.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And this was a feminist, and I'm like trying to explain to them. And again, really respect this person, but I was like, do you understand the core thing for feminism is that as a woman, she's allowed to do what the fuck she wants with her own body? That's the whole point of it. That's the empowerment of it. But I don't know. It was just bizarre.
I don't know. It was really interesting because this person went on to say this. Then when the explanation was given about like what was going on, they then went because they didn't go down. They started down that feminist route
right.
afterwards, and they were talking about how, oh well, you should do this or you shouldn't do this, and I'm like, thank you, person, for telling me what I should and shouldn't do.
How kindly,
and they're like, well, you're allowed to do whatever you want. I'm like, oh, thanks for your permission. It's like,
I just don't get it.
If you gave a shit about what women think and you cared about their well-being, then you should talk to them about what they want, not shit on other people because what you think that they want.
And what's worse is I'm a grown-ass man. I happen to like boobs, not exceptionally. You know, they're not my favorite thing. I'm more of an ass dude, but whatever. But I mean, a nice set, and they want to say, hey, come look at him. What am I supposed to go? No. I mean, let's be realistic here.
Someone on Facebook is oppressing my body.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand that at all. Look, if I was a hot chick and I had all those endowments, I'd be like, hey, yeah, I got it going on. Whatever, man. I'd be proud of it. I wouldn't care.
I am getting better at abusing myself a little bit more. I'm learning.
There you go. Well,
so I finally I'm getting close to getting down selfies. So
I'm not ashamed of my. People may not know this, but in Utah, and I've said it before, I was in a nudist type colony. Nobody cared. I mean, we had like a dozen people that were nudists. Nobody gave a shit.
It's a Western thing.
It never bothered me in the least. The only thing was fucking cold because it was in Utah. But you just don't care. I mean, it's nothing sexualized. I mean, I had my girlfriend with me, and yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's not abuse. It's self-exploitation. Thank you. I was looking for the word exploit, and I said abuse.
Nothing wrong with self-exploitation. I got nothing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was perfect.
If you want to use this is like, people know that Anna and I sells like photos, and people condemn her for it, but I'm like, what the fuck? Who cares? How's that any different than somebody posing for Playboy? They're selling themselves for photos for money. I got no issue with that. What the hell? She's just eliminating the middleman.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think the person that was making that argument was trying to detract from the fact that he was getting his ass kicked in a different argument.
I tell you what, King Crocoduck, you if next time you're on and you go and you do your cam and you do it, like an actual cam to cam, I'll take my shirt. Okay.
Helios575 for $2 said Cheshire is such a good upgrade from Kyle. Thanks.
No comment.
Thanks.
All right.
You're not allowed to say anything due to legal reasons.
Legal reasons. All right. So, anyways, let's get into the heart of the matter. This is what most people only want to talk about. Yeah, it's okay, yes. Casey. I know it's not like. I tell you what, though, I still need to have you on, but I'll take off my shirt one of these days. It's not. I gained like 2 pounds, 3 pounds because I've been stress eating. But I'm gonna take it off next month.
I vote. We make that the reveal for. I'm allowed to because I'm not in legal proceedings. But when Non Sequitur comes back, Steve should be shirtless. Possible.
It's possible. All right, so let's get into the people who really been the core thing is what's going on with Essence of Thought.
Oh yes.
This is long, involved, and just so convoluted that it'd probably take 4 hours to really dive into. So instead of just doing that, I'm just going to turn over to Cheshire, and I really want her to just like get into the crux of the matter when it comes to Godless Cranium's last comment that we saw on it, because this was just blowing my mind. I lost all sense of reality when I saw this.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's a little bit bizarre. If you watch Rationality Rules' newest video on the matter, he does a timeline breakdown, and that timeline breakdown is actually very good, and I definitely recommend checking it out if you haven't seen it. Even if you just look at the timeline that he posts, because the timeline that he posts doesn't actually have any real bias in it. You can just kind of see what happened when. It's very, very straightforward and very to the point. So I definitely recommend checking that out if you want a brief summary of kind of what's been going down from a more. It is biased in that he's coming from his point of view, but at the same time, for the most part, it's quite objective, as much as it can be. So, Godless Cranium had posted. I've got them on my phone, so. Dear at Rationality Rules, bracket, and everyone else involved either directly or in the periphery, end bracket, please stop. The discussion has gone beyond the point of usefulness. EoT's wife self-disclosed to me that she is struggling with suicidal thoughts, and he has linked to Rationality Rules' video and a comment underneath it. And then said, this is a 3-part. He says, it needs to stop before someone else is hurt or even killed. At this point, I don't know what else to do. I'm making this public plea in the hopes that everyone, regardless of side, will put down their swords before something else tragic and unnecessary happens. And yes, I got permission from both EoT and their wife before making this tweet. Please, let's just stop this. We don't have to agree or even like each other, but I hope we can all recognize that this has gone too far. Needless to say, I was responding with surprised Pikachu face because, oh, now you care. You didn't make this call out when Rachel was falling apart. You made this call after because this will be the second time that Essence of Thought has threatened self-harm or suicidal tendencies, to themselves, and now they're bringing their wife into it. And saying, oh, well, it's not me, it's my wife. And so now Godless Cranium's going to step in. Now he cares.
Yeah, so here's okay. Let me. I'm actually trying to show this for you guys on Twitter, but it gonna work. All right, so this is the actual tweet here. And yes, I haven't got his Cranium blocked. The reason being is he blocked me ages ago. I blocked him back, and I'm not gonna unblock him because he wants to play these little games with me. Because he's just, I think he's lost his kind of his mind.
Well, you're pulling that up.
He thinks I'm a Nazi. He thinks my fans are Nazis. I'm like, I'm not even going to play that game. But,
Ultimate Pain for $1.99 US said on Non Sequitur Show, GE was a downgrade from Steve.
GE, KC, Katie. Oh, don't worry. Like I said, they're all going to have their day of reckoning. Just
hey, well, if you multiply all three of them together, would they equal one Steve?
I promise my fans, as to the best of my ability, I will make sure that GE, KC, Katie, and Jimmy, Mr. Atheist, have a day of reckoning at some point. It's just I have to bide my time. But Jimmy's
on a warpath.
Yes, yeah, they're gonna be held accountable, and especially Jimmy, because I extended my hand to him and he bit it. So.
Right? That's this current situation. This is a matter of being held accountable. This is a matter of consequence. This is a matter of course you're getting shit on. Look at what you did.
But this is par for the
course. You're upset that people are calling you out? Victim?
Here's the greatest irony of it. When EoT was bashing and bullying Rachel Oates, which was just reprehensible to the max, she made a video that people have seen by now that really showed her mental state, right? And his response to it was, oh, look at the white girl crying these crocodile tears kind of thing.
Yeah.
No empathy whatsoever. None. No. But now, supposedly, his wife is having thoughts.
Well, he tried to bully her more. They tried to go after her more. That is not what Godless Cranium is talking about. Because they went, again, people aren't saying, even the people who don't agree with them and who think that they should apologize are not still going after them. They're still criticizing, they're still talking about it. I've got some of the screenshots as well because I think some of those will be interesting to read. But at the same time, there's a really big difference to, oh, well, if they had said nothing, if Godless Cranium and EoT and their group said nothing in response to Rachel, that would have been fine. If
But
they
they
said
didn't.
nothing.
But they didn't.
Because they would have stopped. But that's not what they did. They didn't. They didn't not only just not apologize. They went in on her harder and more, and basically said that she was crying crocodile tears because she's white.
Right.
Are you
That's
high?
Just
what?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. It's just the amount of disconnect, and I've noticed it with a lot of that crowd. And again, I know this is going to sound drama-ish, and it is drama. I'm not going to even try to sugarcoat it. There's a lot of drama involved here. However, there's a lot of core things to be said about this. He's not the only one that plays this victimization card. There are people on that side of the community that they will start arguments, they will start drama, they will start fights, and then when you push their shit in, they will call their little backup minions to white knight for them, and then they'll retreat saying that you're bullying them and you're harassing them. This is par for the course. I've seen this numerous times with numerous people. I've even called them out on it. I've said it to people. And again, there's some names I won't say, but you can recognize the pattern that they love to play the victimization card. And they do so after they've gone on the offensive. That is not how this works. If you're going to go on the offensive and you're going to criticize people and you're going to attack somebody like Rachel Oates, or you're going to attack somebody like Anti-Ordinary, you're going to attack somebody like Sarah Michelle, or anybody, and then not expect to get pushback because you feel like you're being bullied because people are actually pushing back on your shit, that's not harassment.
Ultimate Pain for 199 said, add them together, they would equal 5% of Steve. Noel Plum actually made a very, very good point about that, and it's that he makes himself a target, and EoT makes themselves a target.
Because they want
Sarah
to.
gets involved, and they want to have the discussion. Rachel didn't want to have this discussion. EoT is a fair target to pick on his arguments, to pick on their whatever it is she's saying in her video. You can pick on that all you want because they're putting it out there. Rachel said she didn't want to get involved. She eventually made a video explaining the timeline of what had gone on and said that this is all I have to say because this isn't something that I know about. This isn't my monkey, essentially, is what she said. And that's totally fair. And she's like, I'm not gonna bow down to this bully's demands to disavow my friend because I think they made a mistake. It's completely unreasonable.
And nor should she.
And through all this, she still didn't. And that's impressive.
Yeah.
But she's not a fair target.
And that's a big distinction. She did not put herself in this to weaponize her own victimization. EoT has. Now he's using his wife, which I don't know if he's legally married or not, whatever, but he's using somebody else in his life that, a
significant other.
This is affecting my life now. Well, what was it when you were affecting other people's lives? EoT has called me transphobic, right? I mean, he's called my fans neo-Nazis, which is completely beyond, again, reprehensible, but nobody really called him out on it that much. He's who
also hasn't gotten reported to oblivion or reported off of Twitter? EoT.
Yeah.
Because one side isn't using bullshit tactics to silence the other side. Somebody made a good point. Who is Godless Cranium talking to? He's got everybody fucking blocked.
I don't know. He has the ultimate echo chamber.
Who are you talking to in this tweet? What sides are you talking to?
I know
You're full of shit.
Well, there's like 50 people that agreed with him, so he's got 53 likes. But the thing is like
I like shit I don't agree with because I want to look at it later.
But he won't. Godless Cranium doesn't know how to have a conversation any longer. When he came to the community, we were friends. He was on my podcast. He was on the show.
For him.
Yeah, he seemed like a reasonable guy, but so did the Godless Irewin, right? But all of a sudden, they got woke, got broke, and became a joke. I mean, they literally just fell off the fucking the planet when it came to rationality, and yet they're trying to say everybody else is the irrational ones.
Confirmation that the Earth is flat. They walked off the edge.
They did. They just walked off the plane of sanity, and I don't know why, but hey, more power to them. But what's worse is they try to make it everybody else's issue. Like everybody else was the bad person. Everybody else who doesn't agree with them is transphobic. Everybody else who doesn't agree with them is a bigot. Everybody else who doesn't agree with them is a Nazi. It was like, do you understand how foolish you sound when the people that you are arguing that are these things are the antithesis of that? I mean, they were arguing that Matt Dillahunty was transphobic, for God's sake.
World needs to really quickly, World, can you not give away my tactics?
What's your tactics?
Best way to get your ammo is to follow the fools.
Shh. Yeah, Sygart, I hate to say it, but Sygart does have a point. He says, Godless Irewin, Godless Cranium, Godless Engineer. I see a pattern here. Okay, fair enough.
Shitty naming.
Uh,
I like it.
But I mean, it goes to show though, and I've said this numerous times. I'm sorry. Not sorry. But just because people are an atheist doesn't mean they're inherently critical thinkers. I'm sorry.
Or good
people think otherwise. But there are people that say, well, I don't believe in God, therefore I'm a critical thinker. That doesn't make you a critical thinker. I'm sorry. It just doesn't.
Well, this goes back to the quality over quantity issue. If you've got a lot of people and you're making a lot of people atheists and you're not teaching them critical thinking, or you're not teaching them, you're not undoing the dogmatic problems that come with people who are coming out of some religions and certain. Because I think we can all agree that religion is inherently dogmatic. Current religions,
sure,
and they're not necessarily they don't necessarily have to be, but the ones we're currently dealing with, if you're not helping people get out of dogmatic thinking, then you're just moving the dogma to something else.
Right, and that's what they do, though. I mean, look at the things that the people that have left religion. They haven't left their dogmatism. Godless cranium, well, was it? Did he? I'm pretty sure he was, but I know for a fact that Godless Iowan used to be a Baptist preacher. He still has the same religious dogma. He just put it somewhere else.
Yeah, just because you've shifted it doesn't necessarily make you a better person, doesn't make you more critical, it doesn't make you smarter than anybody else, it doesn't make you better than anybody else. Stop it. Just stop doing that.
They sure think it does, and you know, they'll put the dumbest idioms out there. Like Ozzy and I had this discussion the other day. We were talking about you know, how a lot of atheists just throw out an idiom, think it's a refutation or something. Oh, here, have an idiom. It's like, oh no, that's not refuting anything. By the way, it's stupid. Don't be saying that. All you're doing is make other atheists look stupid. There are atheists in the community that are just as bullheaded, dogmatic, ideological, and dumb as there are creationists, young Earth creationists. They're literally using the same type of fallacious arguments and not recognizing it among themselves.
Well, the same kind of fallacious arguments, the same kind of logical fallacies, the same kind of tactics. Because some of them are straight up abusive.
Yes.
There are churches that will use abusive tactics that will to get to kids, to get to teenagers, younger people, and try and drive them in a specific direction. These people are doing the exact same thing. Be better.
Well, look at like Staggerson, who I barely know. He's an atheist, and instead of being a critical thinker and arguing with like Demi on an intellectual level using science and physics, which he's supposed to like, he immediately just degraded himself and degraded the conversation into personal insults about her personal attributes.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And how does that making him as a critical thinker look like a critical thinker?
Oh, I'm critically criticizing your behavior instead of your argument.
I mean, I understand if he's really into fashion or something like that, and he says, "Hey, girl, that thing you were wearing the other day, just don't." I get that, right? Whatever, but it wasn't even that. Just don't. Debbie, that shawl doesn't work with whatever. I'm not fashion critical.
In her video, talking about her most recent video, that she's got this sweater, fucking adorable.
No, she knows fashion. Yeah, no, she's got good fashion sense.
I don't. Christopher Kane for $5 Canadian says, sending this because you seemed to feel left out when I joined Team's channel the other night. Remember that you're loved, Steve.
I don't recall. What was that when he joined Team's channel? I was on Team Skeptics channel the other day. It was great fun. We were with Craig, and it was enjoyable. And Sean Hufford.
Oh. So I got a couple of the tweets of people responding to what Godless Cranium said, and I think some people make some really good points, and I thought I'd bring that in so that way if you guys are ever involved or want to have your opinions heard throughout Twitter, maybe you'll get yours seen in here. So this one... Engagement!
Yeah, I like that.
This one said, I laugh at you. This person's name is great. I
like them. Yeah, they're from Twitter.
I like that. This is a good one. So when EoT spends months calling rationality rules a violent transphobe with blood on his hands and bullies their friend into self-harm, that's fine. The person having these accusations thrown at them responds, and suddenly it's drama. I smell bias. Severe bias. think we can all agree with that one.
Yeah, and that was one of the bigger things that EoT loved throwing out. He calls people violent transphobes. He called RO a violent transphobe. He said the same thing about rationality rules.
Yep.
I don't recall him saying it about me. I know he calls me transphobic, but I don't think he called me a violent transphober. But he used other hyperbolic language. But
yeah.
That's to say somebody like Rachel Oates is a violent transphobe.
And King Crocoduck, yep.
And King Crocoduck. You got to know that they're just not thinking normally, or they're just using such hyperbolic language indiscriminately in order to try to weaponize these terms. And I think it's a combination of both. I think they're not thinking rationally, and they are trying to weaponize these terms. But it's backfiring on them because people are calling them out of this. People are saying, hey, this is not how you have a conversation. When you start weaponizing these terms and start saying that Rachel Oates or King Crocoduck of all people are somehow violent transphobes, you have lost yourself in the domain of discourse. You are gone. You are not even welcome to have these dialogues any longer.
For 5 pounds, Godless Scummer, you are in violation of the Extreme Transphobic Hatred Emergency Law, Ethel Act.
I love that too, the Ethel Act.
P.S. I am not like the other godless types.
Fair enough. There's there you go. So he's not included in the other ones. We'll
the
exclude him.
exception proves the rule.
Yeah, but I like the hashtag Ethelpole.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I love that.
This person's name is just A period, and they latched on to the both sides bit of Godless Cranium's tweet. You're right. Both sides are just as bad. The transphobe that is using biased cherry-picked facts to rob trans people of rights, and the people calling him out. Both sides. Then Leanne Davis said, EoT never gave a damn about the harm being inflicted on others throughout this. Non-stop bullying and anyone with a dissenting opinion and trying to destroy lives and reputations. I can't possibly feel sympathy that shoe is on the other foot.
Yeah, it's hard for me to be empathetic as well, and hard for me to show sympathy. Now, granted, I don't want no harm to come to anybody. I mean, if his wife or whatever she is, is having these thoughts, then of course I hope she gets the help. But here's the thing: if he honestly believes this, then his course of action is to get the fuck off Twitter and stop perpetuating this stuff and take care of his wife, right? If he's continuing the drama and then saying, "Well, this is affecting my wife," then what is he placing first? The drama and not his wife.
Yeah, there's a handful of issues with that.
He's the one continuing the drama.
Of issues. Well, that's the thing. Rationality Rules didn't say anything. Like, he was not hyperbolic in his. He wasn't using a hyperbole in his description about what was going on or his explanation of the timeline of what was going on, and he hasn't said anything for months. And that was a point he makes also. Rachel, he's been going after people and just kind of throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks, and Rachel stuck because Rachel responded, because Rachel was like, why are you lying about this? Why are you saying these things? Right. And so he just went in hard on her. And Rationality Rules he's been mentioned and brought up a lot, but he hasn't said anything until now. It's been months since he said a damn thing about it, since he made his correction video. And Noel Plum made a really good point also on Twitter earlier today, which I think I agree with, in that if these things are happening, and if this is true, I'm not going to say that his wife maybe isn't having issues, because I can't possibly know that. If that is the case, then take a step back, reassess your situation, and if you decide that you want to come back to Twitter and you want to come back to this conversation, then 1, make corrections to your initial videos. 2, profusely apologize. And 3, actually have open discourse. Or just fuck off. Nobody really cares what you have to say at this point anyway. You've been nothing but a piece of human garbage. Stop being a piece of human garbage. You are now hurting yourself and your wife and the people around you, not just the other side. And if you're starting to be a problem to the people around you, maybe you're the problem.
Maybe, right? Yeah, and that's exactly my position. A couple things real quick. By the way, somebody had mentioned this. I have an eye appointment on Thursday. I'm going to be getting contacts. Hopefully they'll arrive in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
The real update. Real update.
But no, somebody had asked me what this is. That's actually the chemical symbol. Ethyl group.
Listen, you can't be on this channel. This
Methyl group.
Caffeine Corner is about drama. Meanwhile, there's a goddamn. Get out of here.
So that's H3C, which is a methyl group, 3 hydrogen and 1 carbon. So, by the way, we have a chemist in the live chat here. Gio Strieber is actually a master's level chemist working on his PhD. But yeah, so I do know what the methyl group is, but that's supposed to be caffeine. So yeah, there you go.
Hamish McBourbon, nice. So EoT and their minions can bully anyone they want with impunity, but when they can't take honest truth from victims of their bullying, they play the victim card. What a surprise! And
that's what they do. They play. Oh, I'm losing on the thing of public domain. I'm losing the public opinion thing. I'm going to instantly play the victim card. And that's a lot different than what happened with like Rachel Oates. Rachel Oates was not playing the victim card. She was a victim.
She also like, this stuff was bothering her for months, and she didn't say anything about it for months. It got to the extreme before she even brought it up, and she regrets doing so. She didn't even want to bring it up.
Yep.
She was forced into this corner. Sorry?
Go ahead.
Cirrus responded and said, "I'm okay with stopping. The most I did at the end there was ask EoT to be better and more responsible in their use of their platform. Dropping this subject is also a responsible use of platform due to people being hurt right now." Very measured from Cirrus, which makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. Cirrus is a very measured person, and it makes sense that like his response is like, yeah, okay, let's just stop. Yeah, Godless Cranium is being kind of a bitch. And also being maybe a little bit hypocritical, but maybe we can just use this as an excuse to stop.
But again...
does that mean you should stop the conversation?
I mean, no, I don't think so. And they should just recuse themselves from the conversation. The conversation, it doesn't just simply go away because they've said, oh, I don't want to be a part of it any longer, because they're the ones that have instigated the conversations. They're the ones that made these conversations the reasons people are talking about them. But like Godless Cranium, to me, like I said, he's recused himself a long time ago. When he was saying that I'm hearting Nazis, and I'm like, oh, look at Steve's, loving white Nazis and all that other shit. It's like, dude, you're just being stupid. And so I wanted nothing to do with them. It's just
using this as using this as an excuse for Godless Cranium and EoT and their ilk to step away from the conversation, I think is more than reasonable. But that doesn't mean stop having the conversation about trans women in sport. That doesn't mean stop having that conversation. They don't even have to leave Twitter. Just stop having this conversation if you guys can't handle it anymore. I don't think that's I don't think that's what Cirrus was saying. I don't think he was trying to say stop having the conversation. I think he was trying to say, I think we're fine to stop flinging shit back.
But they're the ones that are flinging shit, so it's like... but anyway, somebody said, Intellectual Iconoclasm said, if Steve is the Pope of Agnosticism, you just became the Vicar of Vicious Truth.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. Ocean... Yeah. Sorry?
Oh, No Plum just had a tweet, and he said something along the lines of EoT going like, next week I'll go after Matt Dillahunty, this week after Holy Kool-Aid, and then prior to that, he was going after me. I think he just picks his targets, and he just says, okay, I'm gonna just throw this trial balloon up here. I'm gonna pick, throw this out there. Now, there's many things to go after people on. This is not one of them. I mean, I go after Matt, but not on this.
And you also don't viciously bully him.
No, I haven't even talked to him.
I disagree with him. He blocked me. He gets my arguments wrong.
I've had 7 or 8. I don't know. Just for arguendo's sake, a dozen some odd tweets to him in my entire life. I've talked to him face to face one time in my entire life. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's it. There's really, I have no correspondence with him. I correspond him once in email or twice, but that's about it. We have no conversation.
This would be like Aaron saying, "Steve, stop bullying me about philosophy," even though I just wrote a thing about it.
Yeah, I mean, the conversation doesn't stop because Aaron has recused himself from the conversation, right? I still talk about agnosticism. So,
but you're also not going after him because he's recused himself from the conversation, and you're not attacking. You're not calling him names.
Nope, I have a lot of respect for both of them.
Helios575 for $5 US. Something just clicked. Cirrus could be our upgraded Mr. Atheist, like Cheshire is our upgraded Kyle. Also, I love Cirrus because he's morally consistent.
Well, I'll tell you what.
He is quite consistent.
I'll tell you what. I happen to like Cirrus an awful lot. Cygart says he's going on a modern day debate with Cirrus on Wednesday. I don't know the topic, but I'll definitely watch it. Do me a favor, Cygart. Let Cirrus know that I want to have him come back on to this channel, and we'll find out some discussions. I've done some stuff on his channel, but it's been a while since he came onto mine. So
we could totally do an after show for that too.
Yeah, so let him know that I want to start doing something with Cirrus because I have a lot of respect for him, and we agree on a lot of things. I want
to play League with Cirrus.
You want to what?
I want to play League.
Oh, League of Legends.
Yeah. Ocean said, totally into the idea of things stopping. I also understand people defending themselves from accusations. Yes. So when people are perpetuating a conversation, then they're not necessarily perpetuating a conversation to get at the other person. They're perpetuating the conversation as in, okay, well, you've been talking about me for months and now I need to address it.
Well, yeah, but I'll give you an example. Like I have this guy I was talking to today on Twitter. I finally had to mute him. I've talked to him before, right? His name's Dan. And I'm pretty sure this is the same guy that Trevor Vale has said pretends he's an anthropologist, but he's not really. But I'm not positive on that, but it could be. But anyways, he says he's a mathematician now, and he's talking about math, and I'm like, whatever. But he didn't know jack about epistemology, right? You could just tell he didn't know a goddamn. And we were talking, I was explaining to him, I was giving citations, and it turned to, Steve, you don't know what you're talking about because you're just a layperson, and, who should take you seriously, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that doesn't tell me why you think I'm wrong. That doesn't explain what I've said to you is wrong. It doesn't refute the material facts that I gave you. But he started like insulting my intelligence, like, oh, just because you have popularity on Twitter or YouTube or whatever, you think you're intelligent. And he literally said, he's like, stop trying to sound smart. And I go, look at motherfucker, I'm not trying to sound smart. I am smart. I may not be like super genius level by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm not an idiot. Okay, I'm very proud of the fact that I'm not an idiot. Okay, that to me nowadays the thing has shifted so far. The Overman window has shifted so far that if you're just not a dumbass, you're pretty smart.
I used a word that you don't recognize. Well, you're just word salad. What?
I hate that. I hate when people say that Steve's speaking word salad. I'm like, no, it's not. If it was word salad, then I would have people that in the know going, yeah, Steve, what you just said didn't make any sense. When does that happen?
Listen, Steve, you never make sense.
Whatever. It's just frustrating, man. It really is. It's like I'm so sick of people going, oh, well, I can't out-argue Steve on the topic because he clearly knows the topic, so I'm just going to throw out all these pejoratives against him.
Well, obviously, you're just arguing semantics.
He did that too.
Right?
and I'm like, dude, do you understand? I showed him an argument that I had. I was like, do you not understand that my argument is anti-semantic? It's actually saying I'm arguing against the use of semantic arguments in this particular case. A semantic argument can be great if you're talking about two people that understand certain topics and understand that a nuanced semantic argument is fine to have a discussion about. When you're talking about a sentence, there's two ways that you'll really look at the sentences. You look at it what's called syntactically or semantically. Syntactically is linguistically what it says. The locutionary thing that you say is syntactics. Okay, but the semantic meanings could be a lot more in-depth. There's a lot more nuance when you start involving semantic meanings to things that you say, because we have this social compact with each other in language. There's nothing wrong with that. This is the basis behind understanding interpretation of locutionary acts for illocutionary meaning behind things. And that's great, but you have to have somebody who understands these things. And yet him just saying, oh, well, Steve's just throwing out a semantic argument, that tells me nothing.
I think one of my favorites.
By the way, I'm really high on caffeine right now.
Good. It's perfect.
This is why we call it Caffeine Corner. I go off.
Steve freaks out. I think one of my favorites was just before Non Sequitur blew up. You got into an argument about something else, and then, which I don't care to bring up. And then you and GE started arguing about what an engineer was.
I love that
because you were saying essentially that an engineer is too umbrella. It's too much of a catch-all term. So when I'm using this word, this is what I mean. What do you mean? Are you using it the same way I am, or how are you using it? Can you please define this for me, because this is too too much of an umbrella term for me to understand what you're saying. And he said the thing that he basically was using pejoratives and then said that, refused to define it, but then said that, engineering means a lot of different things. And so when I pointed out that you two were actually agreeing, because he was also saying that engineer is a catches all and does a lot of things fall under the engineering title. So I pointed out that you guys are agreeing. I wasn't rude. I didn't say anything.
I remember.
I just said you guys are actually agreeing. He's saying this and you're saying this, and he says, "Well, I don't think that's what Steve's saying. You should shut up, idiot."
That's exactly what I was saying. But worse than that, G is incompetent when it comes to conversations.
G, calm
He's just incompetent.
down.
But he would have asked
the calamity that is your memories.
as he would have asked me for clarification, I would have given it, but he never bothered to ask me for clarification. And then it turned out, Steve's the gatekeeper of what determines what an engineer is. No, that's never been my freaking argument. Never. My argument has been very simple. How I use the term. An engineer is somebody.
Him and Casey immediately were like, you're saying that Casey isn't an engineer. And you're like, by my terminology, no, she wouldn't be.
Right.
That's why I'm asking you what credentials she has so I know where to classify her.
Right.
You asshole.
Right. And I even said, look, to me, I reserve the term engineer for professional, registered, or licensed.
Right.
Okay, so she's not a licensed engineer. She's not a professional engineer. She's not a registered engineer. Okay, so that's how I use the term. Anybody else could use it any way they freaking want. Okay, but you cannot tell me how I'm using a term improperly when that's the most common understanding among, licensed engineers.
Yeah, the thing is what it doesn't make her not an engineer. It makes her not that kind of engineer. She's a different kind of engineer, provided she completes her schooling.
Yeah, but I'm not required to call her an engineer. No. There's nothing.
Just like here, you're not required to call yourself an atheist.
Yeah, same thing. But if she was a licensed engineer, then yes, I would have to recognize her to be an actual engineer.
Yeah, if you didn't, then it would not only be hip. It would probably there'd be other issues in there.
Right, I'd just be a dick.
It would be you're an asshole. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure all of us would be like, hey, Steve.
Right,
being an asshole.
But an engineer is somebody who's qualified. An engineer is somebody who's qualified to sign engineering papers.
Yeah, okay? Go ask a civil engineer to build a radar system. See the difference.
Yeah. So I mean, he might be a civil engineer, but he's not going to be able to sign off on a project not relating to his specialty, right? But an actual engineer will be able to sign engineering papers. I was called a reactor control point engineer. I was been called there's been a few terms reactor engineer. But these are just terms. It's
also not a pejorative to say that you're not classified as this kind of engineer. It just means that's just not the kind of engineer you are. It doesn't shit on you as a person. It has nothing to say about your arguments. It's just clarification. But
you notice they wouldn't tell me anything about her
No, they refused.
Nothing.
They refused.
I was like, what math you took? Nothing. I couldn't get a simple thing. And now people have said, well, Steve says you have to have certain math to be an engineer. Well, no, what I've said was for a licensed engineer of any type, there are certain prerequisites of engineering maths that you have to take. I don't know any curriculum that does not happen. Not any.
Yep. Engineering is a professional qualification with legal responsibility.
Yes, that is who said that. Robert said that. Yes, very much so. That's exactly my point. When you're signing off on something, that has actual legal responsibilities to it. Thank you very much, Robert. I agree with you.
You also don't want to mislead people when you're going to be presenting arguments or presenting something on a show. I like to be very clear. I am not educated. I have nothing. I dropped out of school twice. I ain't got shit, yo. I do an art. That's it. But I don't go around and I draw, so I'm a painting engineer. I'm a digital artist, and I don't say that.
But what's the problem? Why does it matter whether I call
a teacher?
Why do people care if I call her an engineer or not? I don't consider her an engineer. Not by any stretch of imagination. Not by even. I mean, only in the loosest of terms, possibly. But even then, she hasn't even finished her master's yet. But whatever. But why does
fine. She can finish it whenever she damn well pleases.
They make me out to be a bad guy to say that. Oh well, Steve, she's definitely an engineer. Well, not the way I'm using these terms. If you want to. Go ahead, whatever. But I don't understand why they think that I am to be criticized for basically using it the way every engineer that actually is a licensed engineer that I knew of uses it. whatever.
Yeah, and the thing is that interestingly enough, this is why the other day I accused them of piling onto you. Not, I specifically didn't use the word dogpiling because all of them, there were like 4 people, all jumped on you for different things. So I'm like, I'm not going to say dogpiling because you're not all getting on the same train, but you're all just taking different trains and trying to ram them into Steve.
I'm like a target, man. Somebody had mentioned in the live chat, like there's 100 people at a time waiting just to jump on me.
Right.
And not in a good way.
Right. And so, like, I got a bit of a kick out of that because, like, I don't want to, like, there's something to be said for the principle of charity, and there's something to be said for misunderstanding something. But it's another thing to say, hey, I'm using the term this way. What kind of engineer are you? And then them being, fuck you, how dare you say she's not an engineer? Well, this is not what was said.
But why are they so evasive? I asked him about, like I said, what kind of maths have you had? And I couldn't get a straight answer. That's, to me, is not honest. You're not honest at that point.
Agreed with you, but said that's not what you were saying.
But it's exactly what I was saying. I know, like I said, he's not good in these discussions. He's just really not. And this was funny is in the title of this hangout, I put something along the lines of, we're going to talk about EoT, AO, RO, GE, KC. It's like all these freaking people got initials. It's like we're just going to know people by initials from now on.
FTFE.
AT2. AT2. I didn't got initials. People don't. What am I supposed to be called? I don't know. Jess, you want initials?
PA?
What?
Would you be Pope of Agnosticism? PA?
No.
PAS? That's too much like.
And I don't want SM because SM just would be like S&M. I don't know. SM is kind of vague. It doesn't stand out.
Yeah, I don't need one. Somebody calls me CV in the chat, but I'm a goblin, so usually I just go by goblin. Oh my god, did we get through everything?
I think we did. Wow, that was quick.
Guys, you guys got questions in the chat? Is there anything? Oh, actually, Nick made a good point about the EoT situation that I should probably say.
Nick makes a lot of good points. He's a smart guy.
Nick, this $400 suitor over here. While concerns for everybody's safety is paramount, it seems to me that EoT demands control over the rules of engagement. When Rachel, in extraordinary distress, I think that's supposed to say is. When Rachel is in extraordinary distress, he doubles down. When he reports his own issues, well, now a line has been crossed.
Right. No, that's a good point.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, very, very good point.
All right, so we got questions in the chat?
Let's do a little Q&A for another 20 minutes. We'll end it at the 90-minute mark.
Go get smug.
I still got some people that, it's so funny. People at one time were like, we don't want to talk about the agnostic.
PK puppy kicker.
And now it's like I have all these people going, hey, Steve, I really want to take you on the agnostic atheism thing. I'm like, oh, can't win. First people are like, oh, we've talked about it to death. And other people now are like, oh, I really want to talk about it. I'm like, okay, fine. And then when I say, well, let's do it, they're like, oh, I've changed my mind. The only one, and except for like one of them, like Tom Jump wanted to, I guess, on Modern Day Debates said he wanted to have that discussion. I'm like, I will never. I have no well, I wouldn't say never, but I have no reason to talk to Jump about anything because I think his epistemology is just bullshit from start to finish. I don't really think he's an honest agent. Why would I want to have a conversation with him on atheism and agnosticism? I'd rather have somebody who I think I can actually influence and change their position. That's the whole point of having these discussions, is you change a person's position, or at least the audience listening in. I think I can do that. I've done it, 100 people or more, a couple hundred people at this point. I don't want to have a conversation with a dishonest agent. I just have no interest in that.
Somebody's getting a little bit too close to calling my name after the KKK, and I don't think I appreciate that.
Well, what? Huh? What?
Kerbal Killer. KK.
Oh, Kerbal Killer. Yeah, we are going to do another.
I think it was
we are going to do another Kerbal stream. I enjoyed that, but I don't know what we're going to do. Maybe we go to Mimus, I guess. Maybe.
I've been working on building a castle in Minecraft survival mode. It's going to be It's going to be an underwater castle. Steve was asking me about learning how to play League of Legends.
No, I wasn't. Day. No, no, that's not what I said. I said, how are you doing in League of Legends? I didn't say I wanted to learn.
And you said, well, I was thinking about getting into it, but it
A long
seems
time
like
ago.
it is a lot. It's a
Yeah.
lot if you want to learn it. It took me like, I think it was, I was introduced to the game and it took me like a year and a half before I actually started playing it because I just spent time watching how to play and recognizing the characters. There is so much. I'm thinking I might be giving it up soon.
Somebody had asked, do Patrons get wrenches? No. People get wrenches or people that I just have been around a long time that I just know very well.
To be fair, you get people who are trolls that join your Patreon.
Come on my Patreon to troll my other Patreon.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. So that's a little bit dangerous.
But I'm going to put my Patreon again. Like I said, I lost 2 Patreons. One of them was complaining that this channel would turn into a drama channel. I'm like, dude, that's just ridiculous. But if you think so, I bid you adieu. I'm not going to change my format because one person didn't like it, which is the same format that I've had for God knows how many years. As a matter of fact, we have less of this stuff than we did before. It's just once a week. But the other person, like I said, was unfortunately 0132132, who I still have a lot of respect for. I have nothing against the guy. But he was a mod that just was putting forth a narrative that I didn't want to have around. And I'm like, if you want to believe this, it's just fine. But I'm not going to have a mod or on Twitter that's just running this type of narrative. It's just not conducive to me at the moment.
People in the chat actually agree with us. This is more like community news.
Yeah.
Mostly because we're not really calling anybody out yet. I mean, that might happen at some point if there's something that's like.
And the worst part is we don't start any drama. It's just the funniest part. We respond to people talking about things and community stuff. How
dare we join the conversation?
Atheism Unstoppable says, "Am I a troll?" No, you're not. Atheism Unstoppable's not a troll. I mean, I disagree with him on a lot of stuff, and he disagrees with me, and we agree on other things. And I've talked to Atheism Unstoppable quite frequently over stuff, but that's not what a troll is. No, he's definitely not a troll. But I gave him a wrench once, and that was dangerous.
Misha, we did cover the Lookapig issue. It looks like it's been resolved as of yesterday.
Yeah.
Sometime yesterday that everybody had a meeting and they were talking about it, I guess.
But it seems like people want updates, so I think that people are enjoying this. I mean, 200-300 people watch at a time, and I think that it gives them a good summation of what's going on because a lot of people are going, "What the hell is going on over here with this thing?" And so this is a once a week thing where we can catch up because as a community, these things influence people. These things have real life world effects on people.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at what happened with Rachel. And the thing is if we can discuss this kind of stuff ahead of time, maybe that can help give perspective and let more people know what's going on so that way maybe this kind of stuff doesn't happen.
Maybe.
Or things don't go to that extreme. Somebody said, Hawk said that I could be Exquisite Goblin or EG. Although I do go by Trash Goblin, so maybe I would be TG?
Yeah, TG. I like Trash
TG.
Goblin.
TG's pretty good, Trash Goblin. I was gonna say something about something else, but it's
or CV, Cheshire Vic, but anyways, I by the way, we'll be on
right. I was gonna ask if you wanted to mention the HK.
Yeah, I will. Atheism Unstoppable says either going to be a celebration where we hit 100 days, possibly, but I'll know more in about 3 weeks or so. But Atheism Unstoppable says he might do a video on this at some point. I'm not stopping him. I'm giving him all the information he needs. Knock yourself out. I know a few other people are going to do some videos on it. I know a person's going to do a video this Thursday, a live stream on Matt Dillahunty, which is going to be interesting. I'm not going to say who because they haven't announced it yet. That's going to be fun that I've helped on that particular thing. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. Again, what is there to celebrate? I got screwed over, 100 days ago.
Rainery, that's racist. Not all goblins live in trash.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so people may know that Holy Kool-Aid came to one of my
people who were here last week.
Yeah, last week he came to my Twitter thing. And I've never had a problem with Holy Kool-Aid, but I'm finding out that he's been, hanging out with a lot of people that are detractors of mine. Okay, fair enough. I've never told anybody who you can and cannot hang out with. There are people that hang out with the most scummiest people on the planet that I cannot stand. But I've never told them, you can't do it. You're a big person. You're an adult. Hang out with the hell you want, right? I'm not going to go around saying you can't be friends with me if you're friends with the other person. That's stupid. But I will laugh at you later on when they screw you over. Guarantee it. But... Hey,
hashtag told you so.
Hashtag Steve was right. But
Steve was right.
But he was just very coming at me sideways. And I was trying to talk to him, and he just blocked me. And I'm like, so you blocked me for somebody you've known for years over some Twitter drama?
Well, he blocked you, and then he accused you of gaslighting, and then blocked you immediately.
He accused me of abuse, manipulation, and gaslighting. Yeah. So I haven't talked to him since then. He said he would be happy to come on and have a discussion. I'm fine with that, but I'd rather wait a couple weeks for other reasons. But he hasn't even gone back to me on it. He hasn't blocked me. I don't get it. I see a lot of people that are in the atheist community that have been willfully trying to alienate me and coming up with an excuse to block me. And I think that he was literally going out of his way to try to find an excuse to block me, because there's such a division right now in the atheist community between people that are agreeing with me. Why would you need an
excuse, though? He could have just blocked you ahead of time. He didn't need to go down.
It's cowardly. Cowardly.
I need to justify blocking.
Because you got to remember,
you block somebody, just block them. Who gives a shit?
When
you don't owe them anything.
But when you're hanging out with Aaron and Matt Dillahunty, and you're hanging out with a lot of the more prominent atheist people, the ones on Talk Heathen, the ones on Atheist Experience, you've got to be careful what you say, because if you tell them you agree with me, they're going to screw you. I have somebody right now that's on one of those prevalent shows. Again, I'm not going to name drop, who agrees with me on all of this, but cannot say so because.
Oh, that's not good.
You know,
that's oh my God, no, hold on. That's a huge problem for other reasons. Are you telling me that the atheist community in that area, not all the atheists, of course, but the atheist community within that group are being so dogmatic to the point that somebody within their own group can't
stick up for me publicly,
can't come out the thing they talk about doing all the time because they don't feel safe?
Yeah, pretty much.
Are you fucking kidding? Like, they might lose their job?
Yeah, pretty much.
Or the thing that they bitch about constantly, because you're an atheist, you're not going to get a job because you're an atheist, this is going to happen to you because what?
Shocking, right? Is this really shocking, though? Is it really? I mean, everybody who's stood up for me has been ostracized. Look at Jim Hall from Atheist Edge, one of the channels I support, right?
Yep.
I'm a huge fan of Atheist Edge. Love those people over there. I've been on their show many times. And so when people say, well, Steve's against, atheist community and Steve's against atheist channels, bullcrap.
Atheist community with controlled speech.
Yeah. So I'm not. I also am big fans with Arvino from, Fully Deconverted, right? A lot of great mods over there. But
somebody just compared the ACA with AIG.
Well, think about it, though.
Faith.
They have to abide by certain usages, but I think now they might be, with the new people coming in there, they might be shying away from that. I don't know.
That would be good. There's nothing wrong with being consistent. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, listen, when we're talking about this on the shows, we're going to use these definitions to remain consistent with what we're doing, so that way we're presenting something that is understandable, so that way you don't have to redefine it every single time you get a caller who's going to ask about that.
But they say that I'm wrong, and that's the difference.
Well, yeah, that's different. Saying that you're incorrect when you're not wrong, the way to approach that is to say, in this usage, Steve is correct, and that's fine. However, this is the usage we're going to use.
And that's all they've ever had to do.
And that's fine. But when you're doing that to the point where, if I agree that, you know what, I'm still an atheist and I think this, that, and the other thing, and I still agree to use these terms, but I can't tell them that I think Steve is right at this for fear of repercussion, that's a huge problem. That is not okay.
It's not okay. And especially with like Aaron, because I remember one time I had told Aaron a long time ago, I was like, well, and this was way long ago, but I was just like, yeah, well, I listened to Ozzy, and I got to tell you, I think he's just brilliant on this stuff. I agree with him everything. And his response was, you would. Really? So you would, but why? Because what does that mean? That I don't know what that means. Because I happen to agree with him because he knows what the hell he's talking about, and I've looked into it, and I did my own research, and he's absolutely right on a lot of the stuff. Well, the material fact stuff. Other things are opinionated, but whatever. But yeah, a lot of people refuse to really stick up for me. And like I said, I know somebody is on Thursday, and I appreciate that. They're going to be addressing Matt. But all Matt Dillahunty or Aaron has ever had to do is say, well, the way Steve is explaining these terms, he's not wrong. That's it.
Yeah, well,
but they don't. They think I'm actually wrong, and I'm explaining the terms. That's a material fact issue. That's not an opinion, just bare opinion.
Yeah, well, and realistically, nobody needs to stick up for you. You're fine.
Well, I mean, I don't mean it that way. I mean,
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm clarifying.
Yeah, I mean, I can fight my own battles, but I appreciate that fact that people come out and are willing to go public and say, you know what? Yes, Steve is correct in this, the way he's arguing it. Steve has a point here. Why are we just blowing him off? Why is it that certain atheists just discount me by fiat? Because they can't.
Well, yeah.
They can't attack the actual arguments.
Or the thing is that the more egregious issue is that they say you're dividing the community and paint you as some kind of villain, which is not the case.
Yeah.
Helios575 for $2 says atheists should leave thought policing to cults.
That's just a thought, please.
Yep.
Christian Ignition says, if HK had simply said, look, there's even more drama on your side now, and I just don't want to be involved, or so please don't talk to me for a while, hope you aren't offended, would you accept it? Yes.
Well, you did accept it, even though he came at you a little bit sideways. If you show the rest of the rest, because, of course, Holy Kool-Aid did not show the rest of the conversation, which was only, 4 messages? Steve said, wow, what the fuck? Okay, and then left him alone. Like, he didn't, try to... The thing was, and I said this on his tweet where he showed Steve asking him, where I said, well, if he's trying to manipulate you, can we see the rest of the messages? Because all this shows is him asking one thing that I guess you could construe one way or another if you wanted to.
If you really were looking for...
But if you were looking to show that Steve was trying to push you into doing something, you have to show him pushing you, not just asking at first.
Yeah, and what was my response to him?
Oh, okay.
Whatever. Okay,
I don't know why you reacted this way. That's not what I'm trying to do.
I didn't try arguing with him. I didn't say, okay, well, if you don't make this video, you're against me. I didn't do any of that crap that he accused me of.
And then you left him alone.
I didn't talk to him since after that. I was like, okay. So where's all this narrative that I was somehow trying to manipulate him?
Well, the thing is that he also came flying in here sideways, which made some really bad arguments, and chat was just reaming into him like, Jesus, chat, I love you guys.
Yeah, it's funny. Chemo Maki says AXP drank way too much from the Flu Boulevard Kool-Aid, which is funny, is I don't think they've even read Flu or Boulevard. And that's the funniest part, because neither one of them really substantiate their arguments. If you actually read Stephen Boulevard, he's making an argument that it should be a certain way because of grammatical reasons. Okay, I don't agree with his argumentation, but he's just arguing what he thinks should be the case, and he's a theist, by the way. But Flu fully doesn't say what they think he's saying in his presumption of atheism, which is why I don't think they've actually read it, because Flu argues it's normative now in that atheism is the belief that God does not exist, but I want to change it to the negative case. And he argues for it using the presumption of innocence, which has major flaws to it. But
are we talking philosophy on our drama channel?
I know.
Math and philosophy?
Whatever. But Flu, yeah, I mean, Flu actually states that I'm right. He's like, it's, atheism is the belief that God does not exist, but I want to change it. So when these people say, well, Steve's wrong, and they quote Flu, I'm like, what the hell do they think they're arguing here?
Yeah.
Anyways.
The only reason we bring this up again is just because we wanted to give you guys a quick update and say that, well, he came in here wanting to have some kind of throwing accusations, but then claiming he wanted to have some kind of discussion and claiming that we were making a whole show talking shit about him, which was obviously not the case.
I've never shat on him. I have nothing against Thomas. I like Thomas.
Of course you're not going to have me on right now. Well, yeah, because this is a planned show, but okay.
But yeah, and towards the end.
But he has yet to contact anybody to actually further that discussion.
Well,
that was the update to that.
But I've also noticed, and again, I'm not going to mention names, but like somebody that I had an altercation with, all of a sudden after we had an altercation, they were hanging out with literally the biggest trolls on the internet. So when all these trolls are just want to talk shit about me, that's all they do. Their whole lives are centralized just to try to talk shit about me, and occasionally they'll do Cheshire or Reds or a few other people, but mainly me. I'm more important.
Yo, at me, bro.
And I just ignore all of them, but whatever. But their whole lives are dedicated to seemingly almost I won't even say almost, literally obsessing over me. Of course, some of these people that hang out with them might be influenced for that. Some of them, I will lose some of them to their narrative. It's okay, but the vast majority haven't. They're not that stupid.
You also might gain from their narrative as well, because all it takes is some them talking shit about you, and then somebody being like, really? And then going and looking, and then seeing that it is not the case even a little. Hey, Steve, you're so transphobic. So how's Demi and Sarah doing?
Yeah, I mean, I talk to them every day. I mean, I actually love Sarah. I mean,
Caffeine Corner.
I tell you, I would love to have a beer with her any day of the week. She's one of my favorite people on the planet right now.
Sarah
And
and
Debbie would be
Andy
cool to hang
are-
out with too. I would go have a pint with her anytime.
and it's not like
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't judge people by those things, and that's what's weird. I don't care if somebody's trans, gay, straight, fat, short, dumb, smart. I want to know what kind of person they are.
I care as much as they feel like they want to talk about it.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna alienate somebody for any specific attribute about
Yeah,
them.
oh yeah, I'm not saying that if
Unless
you talk about it too much, I will
they're
talk
not a
to
good
you.
person.
Yeah, I'm not saying if you talk about it so much, I'm not going to talk
My
to you.
token
No, I'm
friends.
saying I only care, like, I'm only going to care about you being trans as much as you care about you being trans.
I got token. It's so funny.
That,
Like Sarah the other
that
day.
might be a bit ugly.
No, I get you. But it was like the other day, somebody called Sarah token and then moved from token to her being transphobic, and I'm like,
The term
Okay.
token. Okay, there's a reason. There's a character in South Park named Token, and he's the black kid. There are.
they don't get it. I don't think they understand what a token
Did
is.
they miss the joke?
Yeah, they totally missed the joke. They don't get what a token is. And then yet, how do you have somebody who's a token who's also self-hatred for themselves that they're also transphobic when they're trans? It's
Oh
like,
my god! I had somebody. I made a joke to somebody, and they didn't get the joke, and so I sent the whoosh gif.
And they didn't get that either.
They didn't understand the whoosh gif. They're like, "Your gif doesn't even make any sense."
I
And I was
saw
just like,
that.
"Did you just whoosh the whoosh gif?"
I was dying. I was like, they're so dumb. They didn't understand the whoosh. That went over their head too.
How do you? I'm like, you can't make this shit up.
You can't. It's like, and that person I blocked, right off the bat. Like, this person's psycho. Then I find out that she's been around for a while as a troll. And it's just like, I'm just not dealing with her shit. And you've been enjoying it. I don't know. You get off on this stuff. You got weird
Okay, hold on.
proclivities.
Listen,
Really weird proclivities.
listen. I was
Not judging.
The goblin was unleashed, and I was set on a task. I am still on that super secret mission. That would be why. As much as I do enjoy some of these conversations because they get too fucking ridiculous, that it's like I can't. This
But
is
she got
funny
that wrong
now.
too. She said that Reds unleashed you. This had nothing fucking to do with that. These people have no idea what the hell they're talking about. I see all these
Oh, right, that
accusations
was
and they
the-
get them
oh,
always
apparent-
wrong.
Yeah, that was the apparently I'm Red's girlfriend now. Neat. Pauline, I think, actually made a really good point about that. She said, "Oh, so you're somebody who fights for women's rights while you sit here and denigrate a woman and just relegate them to
That's what
being
they do.
somebody's girlfriend."
That's what they do.
Hypocritical.
Yeah, it's so funny. All these white knighters and stuff will stand up, pretending they're going to be some kind of beta feminist. And when a woman actually wants to talk about something and do something on her own accord, God forbid you should let her. Really? Oh, man.
I need your permission. I'll make sure to go ask that person's permission next time they want to.
Maybe this is why I get along with.
Have a conversation.
Maybe this is why I get along with Undoomed. I know a lot of people don't like Undoomed, and a lot of people love Undoomed. I happen to like Undoomed. I get along with him really well, and but he sees the point things in a way that I'm like, God, that's how I would express it if I was just going to go balls to the wall.
Shirt design. Did you just whoosh the whoosh? Yes. I like that. I copied that. I got that noted. That's a great idea. Thank you for that. Yeah, and also there's a new smug. Go get yourself a smug. So next time when we're all drinking caffeine.
Yeah, I will be getting a smug today. I thought we were supposed to. I think the person who has the thing is supposed to get some kind of discount. I don't know. Whatever.
I have no idea.
What's a couple dollars? And I'll gift you that when we're done here too. So, anyways,
When I saw info that Cheshire's Red's girlfriend, I was like, "What are you doing, girl? You're an artist. You need your eyesight." Listen, the trolls on the internet said that we're dating, so obviously it's true. The only way to get any real information.
he's in Florida and you're in Canada, so he must have a mass. Oh, never mind.
Well, look, as long as if he's that big and that he can hit from that far away, I'm never gonna have to see his face because of the curve.
Yeah. Well. Oh wait, does it curve? Does he like one
It'd
of
have
those
to curve
banana
with the earth,
things?
otherwise it would be. I'm short, man. It would happen.
Long distance things suck. Okay, I'm not happy with them, but whatever.
All right, we have anything we need to plug?
No, I think that's about it. I'm going to put my Patreon
We got
one more
10
time in the
minutes.
live chat. So like I said, I appreciate everybody who wants to become a Patreon. I will be having a
You can
Patreon
find
meeting
me on
next week.
Patreon too.
She's got Patreon as well. If you
Get
like
a
art
smug.
stuff. And get a
Guys,
smug.
merch.
Yeah, get a smug.
Get a-
I'm going to
get
be
a
getting a smug. Let us know also some ideas that you have. By the way, the best way to reach me is Twitter. So please follow me on Twitter. That's in the video description. And also, I will be promoting the Great Debate community on Facebook more. Somebody had asked me. You kind of let it slide. I'm like, I know.
Message for Dak. Yeah, so we got a little bit of time left. You're gonna go on the shills tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, the
and
shills tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. They've said a couple things they want to talk about, but I'm like, okay, whatever. Anything you want to talk about, that's cool. That I can talk about. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
I did do Zordon's profile pic, and I'm glad that they're happy with it. You're on the shills tomorrow. We've got the podcast on what we think is Wednesday.
Yeah, we're going to be with Canadian Atheist on Wednesday. Friday, I'm doing probably Ask a Philosopher with Nick. And then next Friday, Ozzy wants to do something with Nick and I on agnosticism and theological cognitivism, or I want to do
So
it
that's
with
not this
them,
Friday,
so
that's next Friday.
That's probably next Friday, yeah.
Okay, so am I going to be on this Friday?
If you want. We don't have anything
Let
planned.
the people decide.
Yeah, do you guys like having Cheshire on Ask a Philosopher every so often? I mean, do you guys want her involved in that? Because I think it's cool. I don't mind at all. It's just a good counterpoint.
Thanks.
But I don't want people to get sick of you either. You're like that. You're like you're like truffles. A little bit's great, but you don't want to eat like a whole truffle.
Damn it! Now all I'm picturing is Cheshire being propped up like a human lollipop.
Oh yeah, I just use her. Please, I'm not an idiot. Should be a token.
Apparently, I add some spice to Ask a Philosopher.
Spicy.
Well, realistically, if I'm gonna be showing up on Ask a Philosopher, it would be only as a third. So anytime there isn't a guest, I can essentially pop up and just to not. I don't want to like step on anybody's toes and say too much, but mostly just for clarifying questions.
We'll give you the topic when we figure
be
it
the
out.
dumb person in the corner to be like, wait, hold on, I don't understand the thing. Can you please explain the thing?
Well, I wanted to do a show on what's called personal responsibilitism and personal. There's a thing in philosophy when it comes to virtue epistemology, and I kind of wanted to touch on these epistemic virtues, but I think it would probably get it too much in depth, and I don't know if people would have an interest in it. So we are going to be doing ichtheism and theological cognitivism. But if you guys have any other thing you want in philosophy to talk about, leave it in the comment section.
I can also monitor chat.
Yeah, you do a good job on that.
The oh, thanks. I think there's going to be. Is there anybody else that we need to plug? Because I know Sarah was having a video coming out. Auntie Ordinary said she was coming out with a video. They were planning on doing a video on Surus's video about trans issues, which I think should be interesting. I think Reds is going live tomorrow or tonight. I'm not sure which.
Real quick, if I somebody in the live chat, if I could find a philosopher that can come in to kind of guide us when it comes to personal responsibilitism as opposed to personal reliabilism, I'll be happy to have that discussion because it's a very complex topic. But I would love to have that because I think there's really some virtues that people need to understand in dealing with reliabilism versus responsibilism, and I find it to be a very fascinating subject, but it's not an easy read. And so I would have to have an expert come in and actually talk about that form of epistemology.
Yeah, send them our way.
If you know anybody, let me know.
Get this organized. I think that's everything. In Time is on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Yeah, I think so.
So In Time will be live on, I believe, their own channel as well as the GDC. Sean Hufford has thing open right now. If you go check out his channel or you go check out Red's channel, look back, he's doing some fundraising to help himself move. We've got Arnsgar and Growly also running to help them also get moved. So if you're interested in donating, those are two causes. Get yourself a smug. Is there anything else?
I don't think so.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's everything.
Mazel tov, people. Made it through another episode. Yay!
Hooray!
And no one died. Nobody got butt hurt. You see that? No, nobody got triggered in the live chat. Yay!
Yay!
All right, guys. Thanks for everything. Like I said,
My dog's getting upset.
I do appreciate anybody becoming a patron. I don't usually shill it that much, but I have because it dips after a while because people can't always be satisfied, and I'm not going to try to please everybody. But at the Patreons, I do communicate with them all the time. They know things ahead of time, and
there's going to
I'll be
be a
having.
Patreon hangout soon. Is there for you?
Yeah, Saturday. I think next Saturday I'm going to do a Patreon hangout and let them know what's going on with some of the non sequitur stuff. I've always told them that they're going to get it prized of that, and then 3 weeks from now I'm going to have even a public thing. I think so. Okay. Anything else?
No, I think that's everything.
All right, good night, guys. And like I said, like, subscribe. I appreciate the fact that people have been sharing these videos, and I've gotten some subs out of it. So thank you. And we'll see you on the show. I'll see you on the shows tomorrow, and we'll see you both on the Canadian Atheist on Wednesday. Good night.